Hello and welcome to the 5th edition of our Investment Insight series, Magellan Minutes. My name's Jennifer Herbert, Head of Listed Funds at Magellan, and today I'm joined by Emma Henderson, Investment Analyst in our franchises team. Magellan own 3 restaurant companies in the Global Fund, McDonald's, Yum Brands and Chipotle Mexican Grill. And today we'll take a closer look at how these restaurants are faring and the key trends facing the industry as a whole. Emma, thank you for your time today.
Thanks, Jen. It's great to be here.
Emma, our quick service restaurants have historically been defensive holdings in times of volatility. How has the sector performed over the last 6 months, and what are the key trends that we're monitoring?
Thanks, Jen. So the 3 restaurant names that you mentioned all make up an important part of the defensive sleeve of our portfolio. Their share prices have outperformed over the last 6 months, and we've really seen the resilience of their business model being highlighted in the current environment when we think about the unusually high inflation we're seeing and the uncertainty that we're seeing on the consumer side. So if I start with restaurant demand trends, these brands that we own all have a very strong consumer following. And importantly in the current environment, they offer products at affordable, low price points that are considered value for money. So we've seen this resonate with existing customers, but not only that, we've also seen some of these chains benefit from new customers trading into the channel out of, say, more expensive dining options as they've tightened their household budgets. Then if we move to the margin side, the operating results of these companies have also been relatively resilient over the last 6 months when we think about the impacts that restaurants could be facing from rising costs on wages or food and paper costs. You may recall, Jen, that McDonald's and Yum Brands are both run almost 100% franchised business models. And then our third investment company, Chipotle Mexican Grill, it's not franchised, but what it does have is very strong pricing power. And we've seen that company use that pricing power consistently over the last 6 months to protect its margins without pushback from its customers. However, it's not entirely smooth sailing in the restaurant space. For global chains that have exposure to China, we've continued to see stop-start lockdowns in that country cause some continuing disruption. I mentioned pricing before, and while we've seen consumers, stomach those price increases for now, that's something that we're watching going forward. And the final dynamic I thought I'd mention was actually on the labour side. So labour management's a really important social issue for a lot of the companies in our portfolio. But for restaurants in particular, managing your labour and looking after your people is really important to your day-to-day restaurant operations and also your future growth. So we're hearing management teams talk a lot about trying to improve staff retention, improve working conditions, and invest in training.
And Chipotle Mexican Grill is quite a new addition to the portfolio. I believe it was added within the last 6 months. Perhaps for those of us that don't know about that the restaurant chain, you could talk a little bit about the business and also the growth outlook that underpins our investment thesis.
Sure, Jen. So Chipotle Mexican Grill, it's a fast casual restaurant chain based in the United States. It's known for its Mexican products, so those are bowls, burritos, and tacos. The brand has very strong brand equity and a large following of customers that really love the brand and appreciate the quantity of food, the freshness, the customization, and the convenience that you can get at a Chipotle for an affordable price. Part of the reason the brand has such strong brand equity, is the efforts that they've made on the digital side. So to give you some examples, Chipotle was a really early implementer of digital ordering to make coming to the restaurant more convenient for its customers. It has a large and sophisticated loyalty program, very savvy social media marketing, and it's also been really innovative when thinking about the format of new restaurants. So it has this digital-only drive-through that it's rolling out called it Chipotle. Relative to, some of the incumbents that we also own, like Yum Brands and McDonald's, Chipotle is earlier in its growth cycle. But it's actually already at pretty decent scale today. It has 3,000 restaurants across the United States, and those restaurants are highly profitable. However, while 3,000 may seem like a big number, in the scheme of the United States as a country, there's a large part of the American population that want access to a Chipotle but don't have access to it. And this underpins a really large remaining white space for new store development. So in terms of growth targets, Chipotle is targeting to grow its restaurant footprint to 7,000 restaurants over the longer term, so almost double, more than double the current footprint. Translating that to its growth algorithm on more of an annual basis, the chain is targeting to open to grow its store base at 8 to 10% per annum. And importantly, the business generates such strong cash flows that it can self-fund that development. And the returns on those new restaurants are really attractive in terms of the shareholder return. Chipotle also has other levers in its economic model. It's growing sales and margins in its existing restaurants, driving some leverage on corporate costs, buying back stock. And when you add all of that together, we expect that this company can deliver shareholder returns of around 20% per annum for shareholders. So reflecting this, Chipotle's stock has tended to trade at a large premium to the market, but it's been one of those stocks where the market volatility that we've seen this year has actually been, created some positive opportunities for us to find an attractive entry point for stocks that, are really excited about the long-term opportunity.
So it appears that Chipotle's digital innovation capabilities have been the key to the brand and the business success. What are the large incumbents like McDonald's, for example, or Yum Brands doing to keep up with these younger challenger brands in respect to digital innovation?
It's a really good question, Jen. So when we think about McDonald's and Yum Brands, so I said before, they are franchisors. So a key role, if not their key role, is to continually invest in and be custodians of those restaurant brands. And as you mentioned, digital is becoming an increasingly important aspect of maintaining brand relevance and maintaining a customer experience that continues to resonate. So while, as you mentioned, they are the incumbents, they're very large businesses, so they may not have they may not be quite as nimble as some of the smaller challenger brands, but what they have on their side is scale and financial firepower. So take Yum Brands as an example. Across the multiple concepts that they own, so that's KFC, Pizza Hut and Taco Bell, they have over 50,000 restaurants in over 150 countries. What that gives Yum Brands is visibility into the best emerging restaurant technologies across the world. So that might be technologies that help you take customer orders through social media channels. It could be advanced customer analytics or marketing analytics. Or it could be really clever automation solutions that help franchisees run their restaurants more efficiently. So not only would Yum have, visibility ahead of the curve on those technologies, but they also have the scale. So if they see the best of these technologies, they can acquire it, bring it in-house, and deploy it across their system at scale. Jen, it's important to remember that when it comes to technology, we're often talking about a largely fixed cost investment. So economies of scale really work in these large chains' favour.
Emma, thank you for your insights today.
Thanks, Jen.
And thank you for joining us. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to the Magellan distribution team and feel free to share this update with clients and colleagues as you see fit. Take care and see you soon.